Basically, well, I joined with a couple other guys just doing covers, and then everyone found out, or Justin and Jared found out I did that, and then they got a hold of me, and I started doing covers with them, like Taking Back Sunday, same ones we were doing with the other bands, and started doing the Under Oath, moved to that, and then we started writing our own stuff, which was horrible, but good basement little kid jams, I guess. And then we got into heavier stuff like All Shall Perish and As Lay Dying and Unearth and grindcore, and then yeah, that's how it started out. Oh, then we picked up Ryan after we started playing shows. We picked up Ryan because he was an actual bass player that was good and knew what was going on, and he was like the coolest looking like stage presence kid that we've ever seen playing locally, so we snagged him up and then had like the super band of our local scene, so it was nice. Well, Chris saw us at this venue called The After in Springfield. First of all, we were fanning out because he was standing side stage, and we were like, holy crap, this is Chris Ruby from Prada. He totally thinks we suck because he's like a rock star. And then he hit us up and was like, hey, I like what you guys are doing. You guys actually have a draw. And we were just like, yeah, like this is what we've been up to. And he texted me and said he wants to get into management after his band stuff. So I told the guys, we were all like, this is it. Like, he's going to hook it up. Like, it's going to be crazy. And then 6 months later, bam, we're everywhere in the world and selling CDs in stores. It happened so fast. We wanted to record our album while we were in high school because we know a lot of people that just dropped out and just went straight on tour, and we told the label, like, negotiated that please let us like record the album while we're in school, and we don't want to drop out, so ended up scheduling us while we were in school, but it sucked because we had to drive, or at least me, Jared, and Justin. BJ was graduated the year before, and then Ryan wasn't with us. We had a replacement for a little bit, but we basically had to drive an hour after school, get there at like 6 o'clock p.m., record, stay up, not sleep, do homework while the other person's recording, then drive back at like 6 in the morning, get to school at 7 in the morning with whatever sleep we had, go to school, pass out in all our classes, just make it through, be there, and do it again. And that's like what we did for like 3 weeks. It was pretty brutal, but we all passed, and that's all we wanted to do, was just graduate and have that achievement on top of what we're already doing, so it was nice. One with bands that like we were looked up to is crazy, because especially like sitting in the green room and just talking to them and telling them like stories about how you used to be that kid that like sat in line and waited out in the snow, or like waited for hours for the autograph, and then you're hanging out with them every day, going out to eat with them, and you tell them those stories, they're like, they freak out. And it's another thing that we're just so young doing what we're doing, and they just feel, it's fun to make them feel old too, but it blows their minds as much as it blows ours, because we're just like, you're the reason why we do this, and now they take us out and we're doing as much as they are, and it's just crazy. I'm hoping the future is, like, I don't know, we're really wanting to do, we're trying to go towards the career of a band, and not just a band that, like, is hyped and then gone. We want to be, like, for me at least, I want to be, like, a legendary band. I want to be, like, an As Lay Dying, a Killswitch, In Flames. Even if, like, 5 years from now, we're not selling out venues, but we're still doing it, like, we're still making a living. Like, I want to be that band that's, like, kids look up to, like, they're legends, they've always been around. So that's like my main goal, my main future for the band.
It was nerve-wracking at first because I had to learn the songs for like 4 or 5 days before the tour started. So I was really nervous the whole first week that I would forget the words and they would notice, because I had to learn the whole first CD really, really fast. But it was really cool. It's really fun. It's cool to go somewhere and to go from the first few tours where there'd be maybe 10 people at a show who'd know who we were, to now on the last tour where there would be shows where there were 1,500 people, and maybe as much as half of the kids there were excited to see our band and knew all the words. Recording Monument with Joey was cool because my very first local band recorded with him and did a little 8-song EP back in the summer of 2006 when he still recorded in a garage and stuff. So it was pretty cool to kind of come full circle, I guess, and come do a full-length record that was going to be released in stores and stuff. Headlining our first tour was awesome. We didn't think it was going to be awesome because we lost 2 of our support bands that were alive and Confide 2 weeks before the tour started, and we were really nervous. We actually told our booking agent while we were having practice that we weren't even excited to do it anymore because we were just worried that kids weren't going to come anymore because the support package wasn't what they had bought pre-sale tickets for. But all the shows were still big. We only had 2 shows that were a little bit below our expectations crowd-wise, and all the new bands we added to the tour were really cool, and it was cool being the boys in charge. The whole show was up to us, so it was pretty cool.
Tour lifestyle, it's not it's fun, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. I mean, I know that everybody's like, oh yeah, you tour and you do all this stuff and it's so crazy, you shouldn't complain, but and I understand that, but it's sometimes tour is actually pretty hard. You leave tour for tour for months at a time, girlfriends, families, anything, you're leaving all of that behind for that month and whatever, how many days or however many months you're gone. So it is kind of hard. I will say though, it is worth it, and I think it I don't know, I feel like it not necessarily makes you a better person, but it just makes you cooler with things and understanding, just because you've had to actually do that, actually be by yourself and do your own thing, and not have the help of a bunch of other people. You've done your own thing on tour. So Levi crapped his pants in Reno legitimately, and then was puking and passed out after because he was so sick. That was pretty. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was but it was, one time, I'd say one of the most pissed but best moments was I had to drive first. It was the very beginning of a tour, and everybody the night before, hanging out with friends, it's because it's the last night. I'm about to drive. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to drive. This is retarded. Just pissed. And I asked Jared to put the trailer on, and Jared, she's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go back there and put it on. So sitting there, and it's all right, we're ready to go. So start up the van, put it in and drive. We start going for maybe 5 feet, and there's a big slam on the ground. Trailer falls, and I just look back at Jared I'm pissed. But I'm I can't believe this is happening right now. This is the funniest thing, but damn it. I don't want to be dealing with this right now. And I honestly don't know how, did you guys pick it up or what? They pick up a 2-ton trailer, 5 or 6 of us picking that shit up. I don't know. It was, that was funny. There's so many other things. I can't really think about just one specific thing.
My father got me into music. He used to stay up super late, just down in the kitchen, and just put on old CDs of badass classic rock bands, and then I would just sit in with him, and that's pretty much how I got into music from the get-go. I've kind of, as I got older, I kind of made it my own thing, and it wasn't all the inspiration from the classic rock, I guess, but if you're asking where it started, that's pretty much where it all came from for me. My first show, let's talk about the garage show where I played bass and I had a toothpick in my mouth. It was pretty cool. I felt like pretty hard because there was like 30 people in one garage that's no bigger than like a living room or something. And like the whole thing was on film, and like I went home and I was like, dude, Dad, check this out. Like there's a mosh pit, all this cool stuff. It was like so awesome. And then the next show was like a real show where I was actually in the band, and it was at our home venue, The Attic, where there was 10 kids, give or take. And it was crazy. The first show we've ever played it was a weird feeling. Oh, we get along. We get along great. It's true, like being on tour, you do live with your best friends all the time, and I mean, there's always ups and downs for sure when it comes to like personalities clashing, but for the most part, we do pretty well. We're pretty good friends, and we're all very like, we're very open to everyone's attitudes about everything. And I mean, some things will slip here and there, and someone will get like, we'll get into our scuffles and arguments, but who doesn't? It's pretty much normal, I guess. But yeah, we get along great. I love all my dudes.
I guess I started noticing that we were different from all the other bands when we were just getting more attention from the crowd. People were, you know, paying more attention to our band rather than others, and also we just didn't give up a lot through when we were a local band. Through the whole time that we were a local band, we saw tons of our friends' bands just give up, and they just quit playing music, but we stuck with it, and I think that really, really helps us out because it shows that, you know, we're willing to strive for what we really want, so we're not giving up. I was excited, but also nervous too, because there's so many horror stories of, you know, bands getting record deals and dropping out of high school and then their bands just quit. But now, I mean, it was the right choice now, obviously, from how far we've come, and it's just one of those things that you just sort of had to do. Just go for it, and turned out good for us. I mean, we didn't give up, so. I was excited to leave. I knew that a lot of the guys' parents and my parents also were just not too excited on the whole deal because, you know, it's not every day that someone's kids go out and, hey, I'm going to go out on the road and with pretty much $0 and live in a van and sleep at strangers' houses each night. But I was excited. The first tour turned out really good. We thought it was going to be really scary, but after the first few days of tour, it was really comfortable. Felt like this is what we should be doing.
Oh yeah, you started with little Fisher-Price keyboards and guitars, and then you got your first bass. I think you were 10, bass guitar. You played the cello. I always had you surrounded with music pretty much daily. The first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, did I make you that angry? That was honestly my first, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it was you, but I love metal, so I dig it, it's brutal. It was awesome. I've seen you grow. Like, I went to the first show where there wasn't maybe 10 people, and then going to the shows like at Rocket Town where they're all singing, the crowd's singing every word, and I've just seen you guys grow, and it's awesome. Was I worried? I'm more worried about labels ripping you guys off than anything. I completely support. I think it's awesome. We get to travel and see the world. and meet new people and just experience things that most people don't get the chance to. Oh, the spring break. I supported it. I never gave you much crap about it. I just said, please graduate. That was my biggest thing, is I wanted you to finish school. I never wanted you to give up music ever. You know, I fought for you in past relationships who were fighting against you being in music at that age, but I could think of a lot worse things you could have been doing than making music. So I've always backed you. What's crazy is I remember taking you to the shows. I remember taking you to shows, and now you're playing with the bands that you loved and I took you to. So just the fact that, you know, in these different countries, they know the words to your songs. Some of them don't even speak English, but they know the words to your songs. That's phenomenal.
When he was 5, he used to play imaginary guitar. Always showed off in front of he had to make sure everybody was watching, so he'd turn off the TV and tell everybody to be quiet because he was going to put on a show. And he was real big on Garth Brooks, and he knew all of Garth Brooks songs, wore his cowboy hat and his cowboy boots, and he tramped through the house all the time, singing anything and everything. I didn't like it. I can honestly say, I mean, I listen to it because he plays it, but it's not my cup of tea. But you know, that's what he wants. I'm excited about it. I brag about him all the time. I work in an assisted living community, and he worked there when he was younger, and I talk about it all the time. Everybody asks, you know, how's Ryan doing, and all the people that I work with, he's their fan on Facebook, and I show the videos and all the different pictures and things like that and they're, you know, I'm just real proud of him. He's become a lot more than I thought he would ever be. I'll be the first one to eat crow to say that he was not going to make it. And he's done it. And I'm proud of all of you. You've all done a great job. I felt better with you guys than I did the first time. I was scared the first time, but after you guys made your first trip around, I'm not crazy about the overseas tours. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the world that we don't understand, and I'm afraid you guys are going to get mixed up in it. But, you know, you're big boys. I think you can take care of yourself. I'm so jealous. I am so jealous of everything that he has seen and done. I mean, it's just amazing.
So I never thought he'd be like,
oh, heavens no. Heavens no. I'd never thought of that.
I was happy that he was playing guitar because his dad plays guitar. My dad plays guitar, my brother, and his brother. So it's kind of like a family tradition thing. When I seen him play live, I was proud of him. I don't really get into the music, but because he plays, I love it. I understand it better, I guess, now that he plays, and I know all you boys and everything. You're all good boys. Well, at first, I thought maybe it was something that I didn't really think it was legit at first. When I first heard about it, after we went to the meeting, all the parents, you know, I realized this is a real deal. And I knew that all of you boys were committed because you had all thought it out very well. You're all very business-minded. It wasn't just this thing for fame and fortune. You were looking at this as a career, as a job, so that made a big difference. I was a little concerned. I think all of us parents were. We were afraid maybe you might get stranded out, van break down, You know, you don't know what's out there. The world isn't a very pretty place. So we, you know, we were kind of scared for you, but it was exciting because you boys have went places I've never been and experienced things that I never will. And I think, especially after you came back your first tour, you were, I know for Justin, very more mature.
Very apprehensive, not really sure as to where it was going to go, and a little bit leery of the kind of things that are out there that he might get involved with. Just worried about little stuff. It's strange. It's still a little weird. I mean, knowing that your son's on that album. Like, we went to the record store the other night and we saw the Miss May I albums. There, it was just strange because, you know, I don't look at Justin as famous. He's Justin to me. He always will be. He's my son. But it just seems just kind of strange, overwhelming sometimes to think about that. Yeah, I think I became more comfortable with it, but still, I'm going to worry. That's what parents do. We worry about their kids, and but I began to accept it more and more that you're making it, you're doing it.